This is how I felt when I heard that Stephan is getting out of the real estate business.
You were the chosen one!
And here is what I did right after watching that video. What's up, peeps? This is Todd and welcome back to my show. Today I'm going to be reacting to Stephan talking about getting out of the real estate business. Now, before any huge fans of Stephan decide to get mad at me or dislike this video, just know that I am also a big fan of Stephan. In fact, he is my second favorite YouTuber, second only to Epic Rap Battles of History, which if you don't already know, go check them out and subscribe.
What's up, Graham? It's Guys here. So you probably clicked on the video because you saw the title and wanted to see if it was clickbait. After all, for nearly my entire adult life, I've been known as the real estate guy. It's what I did right after high school, it's how I invested almost all of my money, and it's even how I started here on YouTube by making real estate videos. So on the surface, it doesn't make a lot of sense as to why the real estate guy is not buying real estate.
Now, I will say I completely agree with the first part of Graham's argument here. Although once you set up a property is completely passive income, it does take a while to find the right deal.
It would usually take me anywhere from 6 to 12 months looking through the market just to find one deal that actually makes sense to buy. During that process, there's a lot of offers that go out, a lot of them don't go through. But the one deal that goes through at the very end usually makes all the time spent on the others completely worth it. But then after I buy the property, it's another 3 to 16 weeks worth of renovations depending on how big the project is. I tried to be as actively involved in the process as I could, but that usually meant that I was going to the job site 1 to 2 times per day, I was going to and from Home Depot, and I was constantly haggling with contractors who would overbid and underdeliver. So it was a lot to manage between that and working full-time as a real estate agent just to pay for it all.
My wife and I typically buy a house every 12 to 18 months, but I do find that I am always looking at properties. It took me a solid 10 months of looking at properties before I found this duplex that I decided was the right deal for us. And given that Graham's YouTube channel has completely blown up, it probably isn't worth his time to pound the pavement and go look at properties.
First, interest rates are at their all-time historic lows. Now, typically, this would bode really well for real estate investors like myself, and I'll be honest, it has. But second, that comes at a cost. Because interest rates have become so inexpensive, it's driven up the cost of real estate. Because now, people can afford to buy just a little bit more than they could before, and that demand is causing people to want to get mortgages.
Now, Graham is also correct about low interest rates. The artificially low interest rates mean that the prices of real estate is through the roof, but that doesn't mean that you can't find a good deal. It sounds like Graham's method has always been to purchase houses that were under market value that need a little bit of work that he could fix up and inject value into. My strategy with real estate is a little bit different. I actually exclusively buy new construction properties and I buy it directly from the builders, cutting out the real estate agent. That is how the vast majority of my deals have been done. Now, when I go directly to the builders of a new construction building and I buy it off market, that means that those builders are saving 6% in commissions that they would be paying out to real estate agents. So for easy numbers, if I'm buying $1 million property, that means that the builders are saving $60,000 for selling it off market. What that means to me is that I could go buy a property for $40,000 below market value, and still the builders come out $20,000 ahead. There's 20 grand more in their pocket just because they did a deal with me off market. Now, in addition to buying property off market so I get a pretty fat discount, I also hack every house by renting them out by the bedroom, not as the whole unit. So even if I do pay full market price for a property, I'm easily collecting 2 to 3 times market rent.
2, this is something I really haven't talked much about here in the channel, but that would be the importance of diversification. For the last 10 years, I've invested nearly everything that I've saved into real estate. Even though it was very profitable, I don't think it's that smart to hold 90% of your net worth in real estate in one city. I think it's just too big of a risk that something else could happen without having a hedge against that investment.
I do completely agree with his points about diversification. I too am building up a 7-figure stock portfolio in 2021. I actually plan to open up a brand new brokerage account with zero and grow it from 0 to $1 million next year and document my journey every single quarter. So that way anybody watching can replicate my investing strategy. But I do still think that real estate is the absolute best investment. I disagree that it's impossible to find a good deal today. And I also think for the amount of time that I don't have or that Graham doesn't have to go look at property or find the right investment, you can actually hire people to do that. There's a property that I'm looking at right now that is a 50-unit apartment building for $5 million. Now, I would need to come up with $1 million as the down payment, meaning that I would have a $4 million loan. But the interest rate that I could get on that $4 million loan is about 2.8%, which is essentially free money. Not to mention, this specific building is in a multifamily tax exemption area, meaning that I wouldn't have to pay property taxes on this building building for the first 12 years. And if you think paying no property taxes on a $5 million deal sounds enticing, it gets even better. This specific building is also in an opportunity zone, meaning that if I just hold onto the building for 10 years, I won't have to pay a dime of capital gains tax when I go to sell. So to make it easy, let's say I buy the building today for $5 million, and then after 10 years, I end up selling the building for $8 million. My capital gain on that building would be $3 million, and I could legally pay taxes on zero of that, meaning that my capital gains tax liability is completely wiped away. As of right now, the capital gains tax rate is 20%, and Joe Biden wants to raise it to about 40%. So needless to say, buying a house in an opportunity zone will save me quite a bit of money. Now for this specific building, I would also be leasing it out completely on Section 8, meaning that after my tenants move in, the government pays their rent for them. This building is located in Pierce County, and all of the units are 2-bedroom units, meaning that the Section 8 rate would be $1,408 per month. That means that on a $5 million building, I would be bringing in over $70,000 per month in gross rents. And if anybody here watching is in the real estate business, you know that a really good goal is to go for the 1% rule, meaning that the monthly rent is about 1% of the purchase price of the building. In the case for this $5 million building, 1% of the purchase price would be $50,000, and I would be getting well over the 1% rule at $70,000 per month in gross rents that are guaranteed by the government. Now I said it in the beginning of this video and I'll say it again, I am a huge fan of Stephan. He's made a ton of money in real estate, he's made gobs of money on YouTube. This man is very smart and he knows what he's doing. So for him, if getting out of the real estate business, or at least not buying any properties right now, makes sense for him, then more power to him. There are a lot of things about real estate that are very stressful, like having a bad tenant, or having a roof that leaks, or having something crazy happen, like people leaving a live dried out Christmas tree in their house, having that Christmas tree catch on fire and then burn down the entire property. It's a lot easier and a lot less stressful to just park your money in low cost index funds and let compound interest work its magic. So although I am slightly heartbroken that he's not buying any real estate this year,
Somewhere deep down in my heart, I still love you.
I won't hold it against him. And Graham, if you're watching this video, you're doing awesome. Keep killing it. I will make sure to go over to your YouTube channel and smash the like button immediately. All right, guys, I'll see you in the next video. Peace.